Hello, my name is Roger Bukurjoma. Once again, come here with Wisdom Workout. As I go on my run this morning, one of the things that occurred to me is how to overcome obstacles and be able to meet your goals. Now, in that regard, there's one outstanding term that came to me, and it is the term enemy. We've looked at what is your definition of war. We looked at what is your definition of hard work and discipline. And perspective is everything, and perspective is the definition that we give to things. The way you define things determine your approach to those things in your life. The way you define things also determines the barriers and limitations that you give these things in your life. And the way you define things is what determines your understanding of those things in your life. Now, if you look at the term enemy, it's one of the most frequently used words in disagreements, and it is also one of the justifications for violence. It's what they think war is. So, what is an enemy? And this morning, if I say that an enemy is any barrier between you and your desire, will I be right? I think so. So, if whatever you want to do, if you want to get in shape, all right. So, what stands between you and you getting in shape is the enemy. If you want to make so much money so that you don't depend on anybody, what we refer to as financial freedom, what stands between you and making that money is your enemy, right? If you want to build a career to become one of the most outstanding personalities in your field, the most respectable people in your field, what stands between you and that achievement is an enemy. So in all these scenarios, you come to realize that the barrier between you and the achievement or the desire that you want to have is always a habit. All right, it's always a habit. And for instance, if you have the habit of waking up late, then you will have problems going on for early morning runs. If you have the habit of overeating or even eating junk food, then you are likely to be suffering from obesity. So if you have the habit of spending recklessly, then you are likely to fall into chaos in terms of your finances. You are likely to be citing yourself up for being broke and eventually becoming poor. So the enemy that we always have is a habit, and it is my understanding that habits are not erased. You can't kill habits, you can only replace habits. So you can only replace a bad habit with a good habit. So for instance, if you are found eating junk food, the idea is not to stop eating, but the idea is to replace the junk food with healthy food. But you need to understand what a healthy food is and the benefits that you stand to gain by eating healthy, such that you can be encouraged to replace the junk food with healthy food. All right. So the enemy that we have is always a habit, and your understanding of things is what determines what a good habit is what a bad habit is. So a lot of us have made human beings our enemies and have left the actual enemies that we are supposed to be fighting, and so we are not making any headway in life. If you want the number one enemy to your progress is a bad habit. So identify the bad habits in your life. All right, identify the bad habits in your life and find the good habits that you can use to replace them and get to work. That is your enemy. So my challenge to you this morning is that you should identify your enemy, accept the hard work and discipline that it will take to overcome that enemy, and get to war. Peace. I'm out.